You're aware, on Wednesday, March 15th at 7:40 p.m., our deputies responded to 2014 White Bead Trail for a report of shots fired. When the deputies arrived, they located two deceased persons in the front yard. Both of those deceased persons had been shot in the head. A third victim was found inside the residence, also with a gunshot wound to the head. That person was transported to the hospital with critical injuries. That person to this date, at this time, is still in critical condition. That investigation went on throughout the night, and a lead was developed on a suspect. That suspect inevitably was identified as Randall Burrows, and in the early morning hours, we were able to obtain an arrest warrant for Mr. Burrows. On March the 16th, we held a press release. Most of you were here at that time. We gave out Mr. Burrows' identity, his photograph, and also the vehicle that we believed that he was driving. From that point, the U.S. Marshals Service, along with some of our deputies, started working investigations trying to locate Mr. Burrows. We started receiving a few tips on just information in relation to Mr. Burrows, and that investigation continued. Today, March 17th, shortly before 4:45 p.m., the United States Marshals Service, working with the Mississippi Highway Patrol, located Mr. Burrows. A vehicle pursuit ensued. That vehicle pursuit ended, well, I guess I should say before it ended, he ran several cars off of the roadway. He ended up driving into a field. He got out of his vehicle, had a very short standoff with the Mississippi Highway Patrol. He stood in the field with a firearm held to his head, and after making some unsure about some of the statements that were made, he shot himself in the head. He was transported to the nearest hospital, where at 8:55 p.m. He was pronounced deceased. This took place just outside of Summit, Mississippi. I don't have the exact highway that they were on, but it was just outside of Summit, Mississippi. The death of Mr. Burrows will be investigated by the Mississippi Bureau of Investigations, and our agency is working hand in hand with them to make sure that we take care of all evidence-related needs from the state of Mississippi. I want to make a couple of comments about thanking the groups that we worked with through this case. So obviously we had a lot of staff that was working several days straight. The U.S. Marshals Service, the Mississippi Highway Patrol, and now the Mississippi Bureau of Investigations. But probably first and foremost and above all, I want to thank the media for assisting us in getting information from Mr. Burrows out to the community. And then I want to thank the community that has assisted over the last couple of days with the phone calls and the information that we utilized. I am a firm believer that our relationship with the community is what helps our agency most of all. And I know that the community relies on us when we need help, and this was one of those instances where we needed the help of the community. And with that help and the help of these other agencies, we were able to get this case wrapped up in a very short amount of time. So this success was based on all of the collaborative efforts of the law enforcement agencies, the media, the community, and anybody else that was involved. Anybody have questions about this particular case?
I have a question real quick on that timeline you mentioned. 4:45 is when it first came in, and then 8:55 he was pronounced dead. Was this last night or this morning? You said PM, I'm a little confused.
Today, this afternoon. So at 4:45 p.m. today, okay, this afternoon, okay, is when the chase started in Mississippi. And I'm sorry, Daryl, can you give me a time exactly on the pronouncement?
Shortly after 5 o'clock.
Shortly.
Our time.
Our time, what was it?
Shortly after 5 o'clock.
Shortly after 5, I'm sorry.